Everybody, my name is Gerone Wright, and once again, you're joining me on my Gerone Wright YouTube channel. Okay, I'm going to be doing another video here on my channel, and it's going to be referencing something a little bit different than that of the work that I normally be doing. And I was inspired to make this video after waking up last night, I guess about 11 o'clock, after going to bed about 6 o'clock. And I went to bed with heavy thoughts on my mind, and like a cloud over my head. And when I woke up, I was feeling somewhat of I would say along the lines of being like depressed. I would imagine that that's the best way to explain it, like something like a depression. So, by the way, everybody, this is a picture of me that I took a few months back. Okay, and I'm just going to describe what's going on. So, normally when something goes on with myself, I can ask myself what is wrong, and the answer to my question that I ask, if I think about it long and hard enough, it comes to me. Everything becomes broken down. And in this case, it was no different. I asked myself, I said, what is wrong with you? Why are you feeling this way? I asked of myself. And the source of my depression, the answer that came to me was not surprising, but I guess like more so like a revealing moment for me. And it makes a whole lot of sense. And when things make sense to me, I turn them into a video and bring them to you and to make sense with. You know what I mean? So you can understand what I'm going through and possibly what is going on with yourselves, and make for better sense for yourself as well too. So this is where I was with this. I woke up feeling slightly depressed, and I found the source of my depression. That's it in a complete nutshell. What is wrong with me? I said to myself. And the answer just came crystal clear. Everything that I'm putting in my body is dead. Here I am, a living being that has to survive off of everything that is dead. Things that are killed, processed, and put in my body. Nothing that goes into my body for consumption is living. So you have the dead, in a sense, I wouldn't say it's soul, but you have dead flesh, you have dead everything going into your bodies to survive. In order for me to live, something else has to die. And that is the source of my depression. Let me play that back for you again. I'm depressed because I realize that in order for me to live, something else has to die. Amazing, isn't it? Just that simple, just that complete. In order for me to live, something else has to die. So now, that means that my survival, is based on the decomposition in my body of these dead substances or these dead beings that I have eaten. I'm fueled off of something that is dead inside of me. And the decomposition that is happening inside of my body is causing for me to remain alive. Now, I know probably no one never ever probably thought of that before, but what What kind of real happiness can come from that? Think about it logically. I've traced the source of my unhappiness to a point, to a dimension within my own mind, that in order for me to stay alive, something else has to die. Sad, isn't it? Well, alright, let me take this somewhere else. Having those thoughts caused and provoked other thoughts to come. The average man lives to about 80, in some cases, when they're lucky, 100. Back in the ancient biblical times, they were talking about 800, 700, 600 years and all of that. Okay? About mankind living. So, I put up a couple cave people here. They lived a little longer. It's my position that I found the source as to how beings can live longer, and the secret to how creatures such as the croc has been around for hundreds and thousands of years on our planet, even millions in some cases. The croc, the great white, the dinosaur, I didn't have T-Rex on there, the eagle, the lion, and the snake. In this case, this is a python. These creatures are among the list of the greatest survivors of our world. Among the greatest survivors of our world. And I found one of almost 3 secrets of why these creatures have survived all of this time on our planet. The number one secret that how these creatures can survive. The number one secret is that these creatures are fueling their bodies on living other creatures. Meaning, by these creatures consuming living other creatures of our world, allows for these beings to live the life that they have lived on our planet. The length of their evolution is extended because the consumption that of their food source or of living other beings. That's the number one key to how these creatures are surviving. They are eating life in every sense of the word. They are capturing the soul, the flesh, the blood, and everything in its rawest sense, in its rawest form. And this is why these creatures are living and evolutionizing in the way that they did and had the staying power on our planet. Now, there's something else. Number two reason why these creatures have enjoyed the life that they have on our planet is because of their full contact with our world. They have a raw contact, unrestricted contact with our world, unlike ours. Their contact, their body contact, is with our world. In this case, the croc, with the waters, the bodies of water, and the bodies of land. Same thing with the eagle. Same thing with the lion. Same thing with the snake, python in this case, and the same thing with the dinosaurs and all of the creatures that evolved therefrom because of the cause of the dinosaurs. Unrestricted contact with our world. Meaning that these creatures did not wear sneakers, insulators I like to call them. They made full body contact with our planet. They didn't wear clothing. All of these creatures. That's the second secret. The third secret is going to stay with me. Because I figured out what it is that calls for man to enjoy longer living, as these creatures have. Not just in the natural sense of extended age, but also in the sense of evolution. In other words, push back the times of extinction. So you see, people, everything that we eat is cooked. Everything that we eat is cooked. Everything that we eat is dead. Even our horses, our cattle that eat vegetation. I mean, this is all nutrients that they put in their bodies. I mean, that is alive. These are living microorganisms that these creatures are eating, even in vegetation. When we consume these things, all of that, the living is out of it. We cook it out. I mean, it's dead. There's nothing alive about it. We're eating dead food. The food that we're putting in our body is already dead. So therefore, think about it. Just think about that for a minute. If the longest living survivors on our planet from the beginning of time are still here, even back then, I mean, before they did their thing with fire, they ate their food raw. And they lived many hundreds and thousands of years. and survived. Had full body contact with the planet. And life for mankind, as they are today, are living much shorter. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm going to go out there and kill my dog out back and eat that alive. I'm not stating that, I'm going to change my ways of eating and start eating things that are alive. I've just had a natural sense of understanding something that is reality. All of the predators of our world, the earlier predators of our world, which we evolved. It's my position that the ape, the dinosaur, all of this are these creatures that we evolved from. And their natural way of eating was eating each other alive. Even now, if you look back and you think back on it, you hear about these cannibals in the jungle. What were they doing? They were eating each other. You hear of these cannibals eating their own children. You hear of these cannibals eating themselves, eating other tribe members, eating people that they captured. Because you know why? Because they understood that eating something that was alive would give them an extended period in life. And this is what this is all about. If you are consuming, like I am, that of dead, then that is shortening your lifespan. Now, makes sense, don't it? What we are doing is opposite of that of which our ancestors did. They understood that eating things that were alive would extend your life. They understood that eating things that were dead would shorten your life. Very, 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 very interesting. Think about that. Imagine this. That the cause of you eating animals which were alive, like the lions do, like the hyenas do, like the crocs do, like the dinosaurs did, some of the dinosaurs. Imagine that. Eating something that alive. Imagine something, a lion coming up. I'm out there roaming in the Serengeti somewhere. A lion rips my head off and starts eating me. What happens with that? Besides the lion getting everything, the microorganisms and my brain matter and all of that stuff is alive, this thing is capturing my soul and everything in its body, fueling itself off my body, off every living particle in my body, which actually energizes this beast. It fuels this beast, this lion. Hold on, let me bring a lion up. So now, hold on, let me bring this lion up. So this creature, which has captured me in the Serengeti, has now captured everything about me. My soul and everything is in this creature. It's my position that that's part of how these creatures have survived for so long. It's my position that this is how this creature, which captures live and living things, have survived for so long. These creatures are capture of not just the living and eating of the living, but of their souls. These creatures stayed around for so long because these creatures were eating each other. They ate things that were alive. If you eat something dead, then that's what you get, dead. When you eat things that are alive, you get alive. This is what fueled these creatures. Now, again, there is a third part of this that I am not going to say. Because when I experience something, I experience all of it. There's another part of this that I know, and I'm not compelled to say at this time. But it's my position that the reason why beings such as this had a longer life expectancy than that of what we have today is because these beings ate things that were living. Well, before they made the fire. You see I'm making a fire here. When they were eating things that were alive, it gave them extended life. It's my position that if they turned around, if this was a living being, they turned around and ate him, then the life from this being enters into this being. Sounds strange, I know. Well, people, how come this being and this being and many other beings like that have been around for so many hundreds and thousands of years, and all they do is number one apex predator of our world, eating things that are alive? They're not eating, well, they do eat things that are dead, but their number one thing, the meal on their number one choice of food is something alive. Even creatures that ate vegetation of our world, that were vegetarians, that even that food source was alive. My name is Gerone Wright. I'm going to end this video with that. It's my position that the secret to creatures that have been around our world forever are doing so because they eat other creatures that are alive. Whereas we, as what we have evolved to and became today, are eating creatures that are dead. We are eating things that are dead. I've linked this to a source in me of depression. I awoke last night in my bed at 11:30 and sat there and stood and thought, why do you feel depression in your mind? And I asked myself, what is the source of my depression? And the answer came logically as in that in which I asked. My source of depression was that I was depressed because I'm eating dead things. And then the understanding came from beyond that. And this is how I'm able to bring you that video. My source of depression came because I realize that the things that I'm eating are because of something else had to die. Let me play that back again, people. I'm depressed because I realize in order for Gerone Wright to live, something else has to die. So, I'm telling you that survival, in the sense of that in the wild, the lions, the dinosaurs back in the ancient times, the croc, all of that, the great white, they realized instinctively that for them to have a long evolutionary stay period here in our world, then they have to eat things that are alive. Not things that are dead, as we do, but things that are alive. And that's why these creatures are out and about plucking off things that are alive. That's why these creatures had such a long staying evolutionary period on our world, on our planet, where ours is shortening. Now, my name is Gerone Wright. I'm going to leave you with that thought and with that video. But all of this came because this morning when I woke up, I asked myself, why am I depressed? And the answer came clear to my mind that the reason why I'm depressed is because in order for me to stay alive, or I have to eat food, and because I was taught, I was shown to survive, to eat food, you have to eat things that was cooked, that was processed, that was dead. And even that wasn't done right, because now I'm finding out that everything that I was taught is opposite of that. The creatures that I evolved from ate everything that was alive. So if I am doing the opposite of what the creatures that I evolved from are doing, then I will not live as long, because I'm doing reverse that of what they did. And yes, people, I am stating that I found out that yes, we evolved from these creatures. That's why you see me holding up the dinosaur and the great white. These creatures are creatures that we evolved from. And I found the secret to that as well, too. So my ancestors' survival is based on eating things that are alive, capturing their soul, everything about this creature, the microorganisms, everything about these creatures, that their survival was based on eating that, consumption of the living, not nothing dead as we are doing right now. These creatures are alive and thriving because their consumption is of that of the living. And not as we are doing of the dead. My name is Gerone Wright. I'm going to leave you with that thought. I'm going to end that video there. And I hope that nobody goes out and start eating their own family members and become a Dr. Hannibal Lecter on us and all of that, because basically, I mean, it is what it is. You're eating what you're eating. But the next time you think about why you might be depressed, think about it that the only reason why you are alive is because something else has to die. I mean, is that a world? I mean, I mean, in my ideas, I mean, is this what living is all about? I mean, morally, think about it. Think about it. My name is Gerone Wright. I'm out of here. I hope you like this video and it makes sense to you.